This is so crucial and important in this message. I'm not sure if a lot of people don't understand it. So let's go back to the 12th Amendment. You've read it multiple times, right?
Yep.
So the 12th Amendment, contingent election framework is what? In the House.
In the House?
Yep. How do they vote?
By delegation.
So they vote by states' delegations. Now stay with me. We have 50 states. So when we do the 538 electoral votes, it's 50 states and DC, which has 3. Outside of that framework, when we go to the 12th Amendment, the contingent election framework, the states vote by state delegation. DC does not vote. So it's only 50 states, one vote. So the 117th Congress, 117, on January 3rd at noon, swears in. At that point in time, the House is 27 majority Republican states, 20 that are majority delegation Democrat, and 3 that are tied. There may be a shift in one taken away from 27 because of what's going on in Iowa. Nancy Pelosi might steal one of the Iowa congressional seats, so then it puts us down to 26. And then one congressman in Pennsylvania, I believe, that's one of the 3 tied states, has said he's going independent. He may go rogue, right? And then vote with the Democrats. Worst case scenario, we're at a, 26 to 22 to 2.
Right.
Vote. Still a majority. Okay?
Right.
Now, you're tracking that so far, right?
I am.
Under that framework, the Republicans have the majority. And thus, under that framework, they can now hold joint hearings with the Senate where the Republicans have a majority. But representing the House institutionally under the 12th Amendment framework are going to be your committee chairman, Devin Nunes, because he's representing the majority states delegations, not Adam Schiff.
You're saying the key is to do it after the new session of Congress is sworn in.
We need to do it now in preparation because we haven't lost any seats. The Republican Party still has.
We still have the majority
states now,
right?
And we will have maybe one more next time. So we're at 26. It'll be 26 or 27 next time. All right. So under that framework, we need to have hearings now where the Senate chambers hosts it, so that if Nancy Pelosi objects to this, it doesn't matter. The United States Senate is inviting you. Hey, Devin Nunes, you're the ranking member and actually the chairman of the majority states delegations from the House. We're inviting you to be the co-chair, me as Marco Rubio, to co-chair this hearing with me. And in this hearing, we're going to be publicly asking questions of these allegations that are out there. Let's have Eric Swalwell testify before America on his involvement with Fang Fang, right? Let's have who else? Let's have DNI Radcliffe actually first and foremost set that stage of what the foreign interference is based on his declassifications, excluding sources and methods so that we're not, impacting national security, doing it through the legitimate process. So he sets the stage, talks about China, Russia, Iran involvement on infrastructure. He talks about the recent assessment that has been, that he, at this point should have. And then he goes through those particular cases. Who else should we have? Who do you think else should be in this hearing on the Joint Intel Committee hearing? I'm thinking the CEO of Dominion.
Right.
Right? The CEO of SolarWinds. Right?
Yep.
Tell us a little bit more. You don't need to tell us trade secrets. What's your assessment? What do you think? But I want to remind you, you're under oath.
So, Raffensperger.
There you go.
Right.
Who else? Governor Kemp.
Ducey.
Secretary of State Raffensperger.
I want to see Ducey testify.
I haven't looked into the Ducey piece. What are your thoughts? I'd like to hear those.
The Arizona swamp is deep, and Ducey is not a friend of patriots. Let's just put it that way.
So then I'm going to have to do a little Periscope or something, call to action to dive on them. This is a no-brainer. I mean, think of the public. All right, there's the legal constitutional aspect of it, but then there's also the underlying political aspect of it, right? And then
Right.
politics means fundraising also, right? To be able to get reelected. I'll be honest and realistic. If you're listening in, or this gets to a senator, this is what's in it for you. You hold this hearing, Marco Rubio, Tom Cotton, right? And the rest of the folks on the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, or Devin Nunes. And guess what? The amount of publicity this is going to get is going to be unlimited within your base. You call in the DNI Radcliffe, everybody wants to hear it. You call in the CEO of Dominion, it's going to be an actual legitimate hearing, unlike. So when the Dominion CEO testifies, I think he testified in Michigan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Well, okay, he lies, right? Say he lies. He gets caught lying in Michigan. Great. He's thinking, you know what? I'm never going to be in Michigan. Good luck. Like, what are you going to do to me that I lied? And oh, by the way, I'm going to look at my testimony on January 7th and I'm going to retract it and say, you know what? I may have made some mistakes. And now he's not under any sort of legal risk on January 7th when it's all like, it's irrelevant, right?
Right.
But when you're testifying under oath before a federal Congress, a lot more people see that. The whole country is going to see it. And at this point, that name Dominion is everybody on the planet has heard of it and not so favorable. So you either, one, just by stating that you're going to have a hearing with those people, they're either going to, one, not show up, which in the court of public opinion equates to you're hiding something. That's a win.
Right.
You show up, you plead the fifth. In the court of public opinion, you are hiding something. Or option three, you testify, you provide compelling evidence that nothing was wrong. America wins. Or you accidentally slip and tell the truth and identify that there are other paths, investigative paths to go into to then further uncover fraud. Again, a win for America.
Yeah.
And then on the political side, the spectacle and the little clips you can make, the fundraising videos, you're going to raise money like crazy.
What members of Congress are failing to consider right now. So, I mean, and I'm talking Lankford, Cornyn, all of them, all the Republicans in the Senate, they're on social media tweeting about the COVID bill, tweeting about the continuing resolutions that have been passed, tweeting about the end of the year budget bill that's coming out. They don't realize that most people don't give a crap about any of that. That most patriots, all they care about is the election. That is the number one issue they care about. And there are millions of pissed off patriots who are not going to be very happy if they understand that the Senate has the ability to change the outcome of this election and they don't do it. Now, what I watch social media very carefully. I observe and I watch what's going on. When Matt Gaetz led a bunch of members of Congress down into Adam Schiff's little star chamber and busted up the hearing that they were having to try to impeach Trump, that day, Matt Gaetz, Andy Biggs, and the people that were with him became rock stars on social media. Yes. Their engagement on Twitter was nothing. I watch these guys, and they're lucky to get 200 likes and maybe 50 retweets on anything they tweet. When they went into that star chamber and busted up Adam Schiff's little
Patriots like bold, decisive action.
Those guys all became stars. On social media, they were getting tens of thousands of retweets and likes and shares, and people were recognizing that, oh, wait a minute, members of Congress actually did something to help us and the president that we love. What members of Congress fail to understand is that people who support Trump love Trump for who he is, for what he does for this country, and there are millions of people in this country who will die for their president. Members of Congress don't understand. There isn't a patriot here in this country that would die for a member of Congress. There are millions who would die for their president. And they have an opportunity. They have an opportunity right now to connect with the most important issue to patriots in this country, which is overturning the results of this rigged election. If they fail to do that, they're going to set us on a course that is going to be very difficult